Friends, I have a treat for you today. I interviewed Allie Cassaza, and it was just such a joy talking to Allie. She is a mom, she's a wife, she's a creator of a multi-million dollar company and online business, and she is on a mission to eradicate the hot mess mom stereotype by really empowering other women, both with their stuff as well as their inner stuff, to let go and to begin living a life more simply, more free. She's the host of The Purpose Show, a chart-topping podcast. And what I love about Allie is that she is very much one of us. She's very tuned in, tapped in, constantly monitoring her thoughts. She's incredible with, overcoming limiting beliefs of building businesses. But where she starts is actually in the home with our stuff. She's a believer that unless we control our environment starts controlling us. And she says that, clutter is a thief. It is a thief of our time, of our space, of our peace of mind. And one of the other things that I heard her say, which I just adore, is she says, we're not here to clean up after a life that I should be living. So she has different courses and, things on decluttering, on creating a more productive, efficient lifestyle, on helping your kids get rid of all of their stuff, on really how to empower your whole family to start taking on this mindset so that it's not one more thing on our to-do list. She's on a huge mission to support women in letting go of guilt and stress. And she just came out with a book. You can order it now on Amazon, called Declutter Like a Mother. Declutter Like a Mother, guilt-free, no stress ways to transform your home and your life. And I just want to share my own personal experience with this because, if you've seen pictures of my home, especially in Los Angeles, I do like things clean and I like things tidy and orderly. While I'm not a perfectionist with it, we have stuff on the countertops every day and toys are out. I know that I feel so much better with less. I've watched Harrison really adapt this philosophy as well. He feels so much better with this. And I've also watched myself almost slip into some perfectionism ways with minimalism, feeling this need to let go of everything, feeling like I constantly have to be, decluttering and having my professional organizer at my house. Well, I know that that's not accessible for everyone. And I actually don't want to live with that level of perfectionism. That doesn't feel supportive either. And so Allie and I get into that in today's episode. And what I just absolutely love is she says, I am not a minimalist. I am not a professional organizer. I am not really about having every single drawer be perfect. I am all about, really empowering and being a constant editor of our life. Oh my gosh. She talks about tips and ways to do that in this episode. I'm inspired. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my hands on her book. At the time of this recording, it hasn't been out yet, but pre-orders are so supportive for new authors. So please go and purchase Declutter Like a Mother, and let's start letting go together, okay? Enjoy this episode. I know you're going to love it. Hi friends, it's Heidi Stevens here. Welcome to Drop Into the Vortex, where conversations about up-leveling your frequency, reaching your next level, feeling alive, and manifesting with more ease are happening. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a serial entrepreneur, I am a spiritual teacher and leader, and I am here juggling all the hats right along with you, creating our next level life and showing you how to do it on the way. Welcome, let's go. Awesome. Allie, welcome to Drop Into the Vortex podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited for this conversation. I love your show and what it's about. I love it.
Thank you. And I'm so excited to have you on. I've been following you for a while, and we have several mutual friends, but we've never connected one-on-one. So I'm just really looking forward to talking to you about your new book and your method and your process. My community is going to absolutely love it. So why don't you
Yay.
share with us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah. So in my business, I have an online business that I've had for about 5 years now, and blogged for 5 years before that. So just in the online space, been talking about this for about a decade. And what I do is I help women simplify like everything that could possibly cause heaviness. We start in the home, the physical space, which this is one of many books coming. So the first book is that first foundational step of let's get your space aligned, because a lot of the time it's really hard to jump right into like the internal stuff, the mindset stuff, the calendar and schedule when the environment you are living in is not aligned first. And we talk about calendar, schedule, mentality, health and wellness, like relationships. I mean, just what needs to be simplified. Your business, that's what I do, is just really kind of come in and lighten the load for people.
Have you always
Yeah.
have you always been like this, or was this something that you learned or were taught, or like how did you develop this for yourself?
Yeah. Everything that I teach, I figured out for myself first. So it came from not being that way at all and being like absolutely depressed, absolutely stuck, feeling like, I had this family and these babies and this life. And I would wake up every day feeling that feeling of like, oh, like shit, I have to do it all again. And that is not, we all have seasons like that. Maybe you're going through a divorce or a really difficult move, or you lost a child or something. We have those seasons, but I was like doing life there and I was raising my kids in that energy, and it was not good. So from there, I kind of was just like, okay, I fully was aware that moms, other women, other people had basically subscribed to this idea that motherhood is kind of a shit show and it's a drain and it's just this martyrdom. It's this whole like giving, and like, but like also carpe all the DMs because it goes by so fast, and just this weird negative energy like suck. And I just didn't, I couldn't wrap my mind around that's what I would be here for. That once I became a mom, all of this joy died, and also new joy rose up because, oh, babies, but like you're screwed and you're going to be a servant for forever. And it is a mess, and the mess comes with the territory, and it's just a joy suck. And like the whole message about like finding joy in motherhood. Like, are you kidding me? Finding joy, it's right in front of you. Like, it's right in front of you. You are choosing to subscribe to this version. There's lots of realities we can subscribe to. And the masses in motherhood are subscribed to hot mess mom culture. Yeah. And I mean, I can go off on that. Maybe that's another episode, but there's this faux camaraderie that you get when you subscribe to hot mess mom culture. And when you exit it, they bully you like Mean Girls. The villain in the mom movies and the TV shows is always feeling good and centered and has it together. Like we literally are vilifying being happy as moms and really set like I couldn't subscribe to that.
This is fascinating to me because it's like I'm aware of this, but I've been so out of like it's like not actually who I am in any way, shape, or form. And I know that moms listening to this are going to be like, yep. And so tell us what you find. Well, first of all, tell us about your book. Like, let's just start there because everyone needs, I've already bought 5 copies. Everyone needs to get, a whole group of these books so that when you see a mom in need, you hand them the book. Tell us about your book, and then we're going to go from there.
Yeah, that's a great place to start because it really is step one. Like I said, if you're a mom that's resonating with anything that I just said, like even one piece of it, it's not really, you can go about this any way you feel led. There's always other options. And what I have to say is absolutely not like, this is how you do it. But I find that it is really hard when you're just struggling to let me dive into the inner work. Let me like find my limiting beliefs about motherhood. Let me, let's start logical and literally physically get stuff out of your way that's not serving you, that's taking up your time, because what takes up your space takes up your time. Absolutely. That's draining your energy, because your environment will win over your willpower over time, every single time. So let's shift the environment that you're living in. And then that is, I mean, you're clear, you know this more than probably a lot of people I talk to, that when you declutter, you're clearing stagnant energy. It's literally shifting the environment you're doing life in. That is an amazing place to start. So that's what this is about. Decluttering is not for minimalism. I could give a shit about minimalism. This is a means to an end. And the end is a better, lighter, brighter motherhood.
So I've heard you say clutter is a thief.
Mm-hmm.
It steals your time, your space, your peace of mind. And I know that you talk about physical clutter and mental emotional clutter, and this whole step one is getting out of the physical clutter. So her book is called Declutter Like a Mother, Guilt-Free, No Stress Ways to Transform Your Life. Mm-hmm. And tell us about your yes, I know this to be true. And I was telling somebody that I was interviewing you, and they looked you up on Instagram. They go, "Oh my gosh, is she a professional organizer?" And my community knows I've worked with professional organizers in the past. I'm all about kind of letting go, but it took time to get into that frame of mindset. And so, which I know is everything that you do and talk about. So share with my community, what does it look like to just start getting into this frame of mind of letting go and getting rid of clutter, and just talk about that, please.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think everything we've talked about here can kind of build up that big, why you're even doing this in the first place.
Yes.
Because if you're overwhelmed, now adding something else to tackle, your entire house, can feel it's actually a real catch-22. You gotta, It's overwhelming to remove the overwhelm. But if you have that big why, we can what's that expression that's super gross, but always applicable? The way you eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Mm-hmm. This giant thing, let's break it down. Let's start in the bathroom. No one keeps sentimental stuff there. It's easy yes, no's, old makeup, broken hair tools. Let's just start there. Let's get your bathroom where you start and end your day feeling so aligned with your best, highest self that you want to spend time in there. I have women that do that, and then they end up eating dinner in there because they don't want to be anywhere else. It's all good. Do what you need to do. But let's just tackle the closet, just one closet. Let's piggyback on that momentum until you are done. And every drawer you open, every closet that you go to put the blanket away in, whatever you're doing during the day, you're it's not perfect. I don't care about organization. I actually just throw my towels in the thing. I don't fold. I don't care. I like simplicity because I don't have to organize. Yeah. But I know that my stuff is owned by me and not the other way around. And I know that you buy things twice, once with your dollars and again with your minutes. And that second fee is recurring. And I know that I am not giving minute after minute after minute to shit that is in my way and taking me from my business, taking me from my relationships, taking me from myself, taking me from my kids, taking me from everything that I'm here to do. So that momentum, getting in that headspace and then breaking it down one small bite at a time, that's how you do it.
Can you say that one more time? We buy things twice.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your money is that first exchange. You give your money for this item. And then again, as long as it is taking up space, even if it's sitting on a shelf in a back closet somewhere, it is absolutely taking up minutes, because, my toaster example, it's just sitting there doing nothing. But it's there and it does get used. So it has to get wiped down every once in a while. And you have to open and close the lid or if it's toaster oven, or clean the crumb tray out, whatever. It's seconds. But I added it up in the book, and I think it's 1,700 or something minutes or seconds or something. I don't know. It's time out of it's several minutes of your year just for a freaking toaster. Now you tell me, like every shirt, every notepad, every pen, every pencil, every notebook, every old journal, every photograph, every shirt, every pair of jeans, every toy, everything in your house is doing that. You're not a bad mom. You just have too much stuff and you're overwhelmed, and it's science, it's time, it's math. It makes sense. So if you remove that from your plate, of course things are going to be better. It wasn't you, it was your environment.
So you talk a lot about decluttering kids stuff. And as a mom of two, I've got a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old.
Okay.
There's so much stuff that comes into my house. And you probably don't know this, but we live in San Diego now. We recently moved from LA to San Diego, and we are in a couple of furnished rentals along the way while a house that we're remodeling is being done. And so I have a bunch of stuff in storage, and we've been in these furnished rentals that I've literally had put our personal items that we needed in a 10 by 10 truck. And the anxiety that I have about what's in that storage space is real. Like, I'm like, there are, and I consider myself a declutterer. I consider myself letting things go. Like, anyone that like has been to my home at an event or something in LA knows that there was not a bunch of crap hanging around. But I'm like, there is so many toys, kids' clothes. Like, there is just stuff in those boxes at that storage space that I can even feel energetically is like weight on my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I share this because I know that anyone listening can, whether they're moving or not, you feel it. You feel that weight. What do you just like throw everything away that's like kids' toys? Like, how I feel like it's like the biggest area of just angst for me. When it comes to the stuff in the house.
Mm-hmm. It's also because it's like constant. It's out of your control also, because I mean, just depending on, each family's kid situation, they bring things home from school or Sunday school or the drive-through with dad, or, grandparents are bringing things over all the time. Like, people are giving all the time. And we had the first grandkids on both sets of grandparents' sides. So it was just a lot until I had to, set some boundaries for sure. But it feels like you're out of control, and you're not. You're fully in control. It's your home. Like, you are here to be the editor of your space because it's a piece of your life. And again, your environment will control you if you don't control it. Yeah. So, you have to get into that space. So with the kids stuff, it's, how can you lead by example? How can you begin to bring this into your family culture? And how can you start to have these conversations with your kids? Have them help you with your things and look at their things and, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff. Can you imagine what would happen if we kept every single thing forever? Like, this would get so out of control. That is so silly. We can't be carrying all of this stuff all the way around. Let's get rid of some of it. Let's go through this together. I bet you can't find 20 things that you could give to somebody that doesn't have parents, doesn't have money, needs toys for upcoming holidays, whatever, however you want to phrase it, and just begin to have that conversation with them and raise them up in this and empower them to make the decisions themselves, so that it's not another thing for you, mom, to micromanage. And it's going to be slow because kids need to adapt to change. But I really think that instead of going in there and just getting rid of everything, bringing them up in this and explaining it and letting it go a little slower and leading by example, making it a part of family culture. Like, the way you eat is of your family culture. Like, your kids would fully expect that, oh, we always go to the drive-through 3 times a week. Like, why are we not going to the drive-through anymore? Or, well, we never eat meat. Why? I'm not going to eat this cheeseburger. I don't even know what to do with. Like, the way you eat is your family culture. You can do that with anything. Like, you can make your relationship with materialistic things part of your family culture. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And I've actually done that with Harrison, my oldest. And I noticed that he he gets overwhelmed when his room is cluttered, and he'll ask me, Mom, can you come in here and help me get rid of some things or clean some things?
Such a natural at it.
Which is so cool. And I think I've noticed an additional sense of it literally being in these different houses because we've just brought like one box of toys. Like
Totally.
that's it. And I know that I fall into this camp. I always call myself a perfectionist. That's like, oh, I'm overcoming my perfectionism always, right? And I know a lot of my community does as well. And so can you just speak to like how perfectionism or minimalism culture kind of gets in the way of your methodology and kind of, yeah.
Totally. Well, I always kind of explain it like this. In the beginning, when you need this, you're handcuffed by your things. Like it's owning you. It's taking your time. It's taking your energy. It's affecting your environment. So it's absolutely impacting, actually controlling you. There's a lot of like subconscious ways it does that I won't get into here. And then you figure it out that it's too much and you need to simplify, and you find, this whole thing. And if you go down like the actual like stereotypical minimalism path, what happens a lot of the time is now you're going on the flip side. You're so worried that you're going to go back. You're so obsessed with how many jeans someone told you you're supposed to have, or how many books is too many books, or what to do with the way your fridge is supposed to look like inside. Like there's like rules. And there's like these minimalist handbooks that are very overwhelming and very perfectionistic, very legalistic. And now you're handcuffed to your stuff on the other side in a whole new way, to where you can't even live. You feel like you can't even shop. You're afraid. Like fear is never supposed to have a hold on you. Now you're afraid that you're going to go back and you can't even live, or I really like those jeans, but do I need them? Technically, I already have black jeans, but they're boyfriend style and not skinny style. Is that okay? Would Allie do that? Would it? Like, right. Trust or like, yourself.
Oh my gosh, I have to be so conscious over where was it made? There's a whole culture of which I guess I'm like all for, but there gets to be this like, where do you stop and just buy something from Target?
What happens if I just like I saw this and I needed that, and it wasn't consciously made, or it wasn't, made from the fur of a sheep that was pet every morning at dawn. Like, I don't know. I just wanted some freaking jeans. I think, and it happens with food. The awareness of where our food is coming from and the panic. And there's a word for that now. I think it's orthorexia, like being so scared to eat because of like toxins and at some point, guys, we have to just trust ourselves and release the perfectionism and know that, yes, I ruthlessly edit my space, but it's not perfect. I don't even say that I'm a minimalist. I don't, because I don't care. And I'm just here to simplify so that I can focus on what really matters. Okay. And if you're doing that, you're winning.
Can you tell me this? Because I actually want a vision. When you say I ruthlessly edit my space, is that just an ongoing thing? You're in your office and you're like, oh, I like actually look at this. This is on my desk right now, you guys. Real life, broken.
A tripod.
broke like 3 days ago and is sitting here. Needs to be tossed.
This is a perfect example. Thank you for pulling that out. That right there is an unmade decision. And all clutter is an unmade decision every single time. It feels weird to chuck it because it's like, well, could I just fix it? Like maybe I'll just show it to my spouse and they'll like, it's done. Just make the decision. Yes. And so, yeah, it is ongoing. Like right now we're moving. And as I've been going, I'm just like, oh, I can't believe I ever wore this shirt. Why is it here? I hate it now. I'm just going to donate it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm going through and I'm just kind of like, I haven't worn this in a really long time. Or, oh, I didn't realize that we had 3. Actually, it's funny that you brought the tripod up because I noticed yesterday I have 3 of those. And I'm assuming I must have like bought one when I was traveling because I forgot it. And then Brian thought I didn't have it and he got another, like something. But there's 3 of them. And I gave 2 of them away to a friend on the street that's trying to do what I do for a business, and just kept the one. And so it's like just things like that just accumulate. Like it is ongoing. And it's not like I'm a ruthless editor, so I'm guarding the gates of my home and I'm psycho about what comes in here. Like we have birthday parties and people give my kids gifts. I love Christmas. I shop, I buy myself things, but I'm just kind of aware that what's here is going to affect me. And I want to make sure it's affecting me in a positive way. It doesn't mean that I chuck everything the second I realize I'm not going to use it as much as I thought. I'm just aware. And as I clean and I go through things, or my closet just gets really messy because I change and throw stuff on the floor and leave it for like days. I'm a super messy person, actually. I'll kind of go in there to clean up and then just be like, let me just take a look. Am I wearing these shoes? Have I, if you lose weight or gain weight or whatever, and you need to kind of go in and just edit. Like I'm just always kind of editing because I care about my space. It's the same thing as my relationship with food is ongoing. My relationship with my body is ongoing. My relationship with my space is ongoing.
Yeah, this is so beautiful and needed. And what I love, I have heard you talk a couple times now that there's future books about what's going on kind of underneath the clutter. And that's so much of what I do. So I look forward just to, continuing to talk about all this stuff with you. But I love that you are so supporting people with the tangible, with the clutter, with the home, with the motherhood. My friends, if you guys are hearing this, go buy the book, Declutter Like a Mother. And Allie, if someone wants to, work with you starting immediately, I'm interested in buying one of your courses. What is the kind of first step? I know you have a lot of offerings. Is there kind of a method to the madness of where somebody should start?
And I want to be careful too, because I love that you said it that way so that I can address this. A lot of the time people will say like, well, what should I start with? And there is no should. Like we have a program that's called Unburdened. That's like lifestyle, like let's declutter your life when life is heavy, and like your rhythms, your week, your calendar, like what's going on with you, your mentality, your mindset, all that stuff. And then like your uncluttered home is kind of positioned as step one because of all the reasons I said. But if your environment you feel like you're good, then you can start anywhere. But yes, typically I do say like start at home. Let's get your environment aligned with that best version of you. Then you're more like your environment is supporting you as you go into like, okay, I'm going to look at my calendar now. I'm going to get rid of these obligations. I want my days to go more smoothly. I'm tired of dinner time being so awful and tense in my house all the time. And really just slowly but surely, one step at a time, aligning all of it with how you ideally want to feel and live.
Incredible. You guys go follow Allie. I love watching her on Instagram. She's a huge community there and is very active. Allie, any final thoughts or where people can find you?
Absolutely go to Instagram. Just search Allie Cassaza on there. And I got the blue check mark, so you can find me easily there. And, I think I would love for you guys to pre-order or buy the book and tell me what you think about it. Tell me that you're excited, like share with me, connect with me, send me a DM. I would just love to hear from you and support you in your motherhood.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.